Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. That's the truth.
This is it. The cocaine and the crack. They all sound the same to me. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from Vegas. Scoreboard with rainbow. That's how I'm living.
That's how we do it. That's just the way it is.
That's the reason why I came to you. Drink and women and money.
Sports bettors all around the world, all my listeners here in Las Vegas. You're rocking with the boss of the big board. Good morning, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, live from the KSHP studios here in Las Vegas. 107.1 FM, AM 1400. That's where you want to be, KSHP. Giving you the grease, waking you up early in the morning today. Yesterday in the NHL, had the Golden Knights lose at home over at the T-Mobile Arena. We thought they were going to put some grease in your pocket. In the NBA, took another loss down in Miami, a bad beat at the buzzer. We're going to talk all about that later on, coming up in the show with my main man, Ron Third Down Best Bets. You guys be sure to follow him on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. But to get today started off, we're jumping right into the Sunday baseball weekend. That's right, Memorial Day weekend. Shout out to all my veterans, Gold Star families, people who have made the sacrifice so you guys can have that 3-day weekend and we can have our freedom here in America. So again, happy Memorial Day weekend for you. Stay safe out there with your barbecues, your get-togethers, and most importantly, you're waking up early in the morning with JB the Ticket. So I'm going to be putting cash in your pocket today. I had you with that dog barking yesterday with the Miami Heat, but that bad beat got me. But we're going to bring it back in Major League Baseball. Got my main man, Scotty, beam him up, Webb from the East Coast Sports Investors, MLB-daily.com, coming on for you right after this short commercial break. So you guys stay tuned, keep it locked, 107.1 FM, KSHP, AM 1400, VSX Digital Sports Networks, and of course, our friends over at Fubo TV. So when I get back from the short commercial break, Major League Baseball, try to hit some home runs on those picks today. You guys know what time it is. Time to grab your bankroll, hit the window, and beat the line. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Let's get some money today.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Yo, you in the mix. World's finest, man.
And I had to come to him.
The DJ keeping the party going. The DJ keeping the party going all night long. You're listening to the boss of the big ball. JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that.
Back up and running with you, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Live at the KSHP studios here in Las Vegas, VSX Digital Sports Network. Follow me on Instagram at JB the Ticket. Go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Bringing him in right now, my main man, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb from the East Coast Sports Investors and MLBDaily.com. Scotty, good morning to you. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, JB. I'm doing outstanding. The weather here is just super nice today, and the humidity is so down. I'm ready to roll today.
That's what I'm talking about, my main man, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb, calling you down in South Florida, Tampa Bay area. I think Bradenton, if not. And you guys can check out these Major League Baseball games today on Fubo TV. Watch with us. Go to FuboTV.com/JB. I'm giving you 15% off your first month, 7 days free, an additional 7 days if you follow us on our social media. So also got the guys over at Quickly Indian food. You guys are going to want to love to get that. Order that stuff. It is delicious. Homemade, flash frozen. Put it in the microwave. So delicious. Got everything that you like. So, Scotty, let's jump into some baseball today because, like I said before, yesterday didn't do too well in the NHL and the MLB. A lot of ticket explosions. I kind of jinxed myself there making a joke with the meme on Instagram. You guys, if you follow JB the Ticket, I had a meme yesterday. This lady falling down at the very end. Some big lady was trying to be a model, and I said it was the Celtics that would blow up the parlay, and it was kind of the other way. Jimmy Butler did hit those 3 free throws, but they lost at the end. But right now, let's jump into some baseball. I'm talking about my New York Yankees, man. These guys have been doing a lot better since Aaron Judge has come back. It's absolutely amazing how one player in this era of baseball can still have so much impact on a team, because when he wasn't in the lineup, the Yankees were very shaky. Now, these guys are 8 games over 500, 31-23 yesterday, beating the Padres at home. Padres slipping a little under 500 there. Let's talk about these two teams because they're kind of in a flip-flop. We thought the Padres were going to be a lot better. They're not as of yet. Still hanging around in there, but you know that slippery slope, they can end up going down in San Diego. But the Yankees have improved dramatically again with the return of Aaron Judge. So talk to me about what you're seeing with these two teams. Again, yesterday, the Yankees beating the Padres 3-2 at home. Go ahead.
Well, I think the difference in these games, and these teams specifically, is that the Yankees have a superstar in Aaron Judge. And, you know, when Aaron Judge isn't in the lineup, they struggle. But they have enough pitching that keeps them in the games. Where San Diego's coming into this thing is they've got 4 superstars. None of them are playing like superstars. They're not hitting on a regular basis. They're not consistent. And you know, if you really watch the teams that do well in baseball, they build off of each other's at-bats. And, you know, one guy will get up and he'll have a 10-pitch at-bat, and then he gets a walk or something. And then the next guy gets up and he gets a 6-pitch at-bat and a base hit. And the next guy comes up and does something where he drives in a run. The Padres don't do that. They have players that come up and it's a me thing. And they're all trying to hit home runs, and they're all trying to do so much, and they're all trying to do everything each night by themselves. And they would just do so much better if they would build upon what the other guy did. And at some point, we really need to talk about Juan Soto too, because Juan Soto, I think, he would rather take a walk than drive in a run at this point. I mean, he's out there. He's a superstar for sure, but he needs to really understand what he's paid to do. You know, there's guys that are paid to get on base, which he's paid to do, but he's also paid to drive in 100 runs. And at the point that he's at, you know, he's not going to get there because he would rather walk than actually drive in a run. So I think the Padres have some mind shift changes that they need to make, especially on offense. And I don't think it's going to happen today. You know, Darvish is on the mound today. He's not a bad pitcher. Going against Cole, who's been a little shaky his last few starts. But of all the pitchers today, over the last 30 days, Darvish has given up the most home runs. He's given up 7. So you know how the Yankees do; they go out and hit home runs. So I'm not thinking that you know, he's going to fare very well today.
That's what I'm talking about, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb. Talking about the day's action in interleague play. You got the San Diego Padres rotation number 919 back out in New York, going up against the Yankees rotation number 920. Scotty says it's an easy selection. Go with rotation number 920. The New York Yankees should be able to pull out a win today with Garrett Cole on the mound. Talking about another game that I had the wonderful chance to watch yesterday again on Fubo TV. Very, very shocking to me, and I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm telling you, out in Minnesota, these guys are super happy. The Blue Jays, 27-25 yesterday, the Minnesota Twins actually beating the Toronto Blue Jays 9-7. Blue Jays right above them at 27-26. What's going on up above the border? Because a lot of people were talking about the Blue Jays. This was their year. They should be leading in this division. But we've seen a lot of issues with their hitting. Haven't really been able to get over the hump. A lot of strikeouts. And then their fielding. It's been absolutely terrible, man. I saw so many balls just slide through guys' legs yesterday. I was like, look, fundamentals. Fundamentals. What's going on with the Toronto Blue Jays? But then on the positive side, Minnesota Twins are playing some better baseball than we thought we would see out of them. Go ahead.
Well, the Blue Jays are a team that's still young. I mean, you got to remember that Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the key guys on their team, or some of the key guys on their team anyway, they're still pretty young. Now, they've played a few years, but Bo Bichette is not a great defender, and they're just in a situation where they're not hitting all at the same time, and when they're not hitting, they're actually very bad. So it's not like they're called an average. They're either a team where they got guys that are smoking the ball and doing really well, or they're not hitting at all. So it's they're either hot or cold, and there's no in between. And they don't have, if you only have one or two guys in your lineup of, say, 9 batters, 10 batters, and only 2 of them are doing really well, it's really hard to compete in the American League East. I mean, the American League East, every team's over 500, so it's a tough division. And then when you've got 7 guys, 8 guys that aren't hitting, and they're just those guys become automatic outs, so you can't hardly win that way. So they've struggled back and forth with that, and they've gotten probably better pitching than what they thought they were going to get. I mean, Gosman's been, really, really good, and Barrios, who pitches today, has been pretty good. So, Manoa's been terrible for that team. So I think that they're in a situation where they're just treading water until they can get everybody going. Chapman got off to a great start in Toronto, but now he's coming back to earth. And Dalton Varsho, the guy they brought in from Arizona in a big trade, he really hasn't got off to he hasn't done a whole lot yet. And Springer is just now starting to come around. So I think there's just a consistency problem with their offense, and I don't know, I don't know necessarily how you fix that per se, but I do think that if they would just have their guys, when they go bad, just go bad at about average level, and then when they're good, obviously they stay good. I think they would find a way to win more games. Now, Minnesota was one of the teams that I predicted at the beginning of the season would win the American League Central, and I think what you're seeing with the Minnesota Twins is a team that can go out there and pitch every night. I mean, every single day, their starting 5 rotation pieces are very, very good. Now they're not the cream of the crop best guys on the league, and they're not out there throwing 100 miles an hour. But they are guys that are veteran pitchers that are getting the job done every single day. And they got another kid going to pitch today, Ober, who's been, if not one of the better pitchers, stepping right in. He's stepping in for Kenta Mayata, who got hurt. So he's going to find himself in another good spot here. So Minnesota just needs to find a way to get some offense going. I don't think they're nearly as bad as like Cleveland on offense, but at the same time, when you're fighting against a team like Toronto, your pitchers need to do well, and Barrios can pitch pretty well. And remember, he used to pitch for Minnesota, so maybe he's got a little vendetta against Minnesota today.
Now let's talk about it on the line. Rotation number 913, Toronto Blue Jays. Again, you're talking about Barrios on the mound for them. These guys are plus 145, minus 110. You're talking about that run line. You got Minnesota, rotation number 914, Ober, again, plus 1.5. If you want to take them on the run line, minus 165. They are even on the money line. Let's talk about this run total, though, 8.5. We saw a very, very big run output yesterday, 16 runs total. Do you think that's going to be able to be a play today that you can put some cash on? Go ahead.
Well, I would think that this is one of those spots where the offenses kind of go to sleep here. I think Barrios is ready to pitch a pretty good game. He's off of a good start the last time out. His last 7 starts have been pretty good. And Ober, he's just been, as good as anybody. I mean, So when you think about what these guys do is they limit base hits, they get a decent amount of strikeouts, but they keep guys from scoring. And if you can keep guys from scoring and pitch tough in those situations, I think that you can limit some runs. So I would play this game more, and especially because it's in Minnesota, not in Toronto. I would play this game more as an under.
Talking to Scotty, Beam Him Up Webb. Scotty, Beam Him Up Webb, East Coast sports investors. You can follow him on social media at Webby20MLB. Scotty, stay on the line with me. Want to bring you back. We're going to be talking about the LA Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays after this short commercial break. You guys, I hope you got your pen and pad, got your bankroll ready to hit the window and beat the line. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, dropping straight grease on you, waking you up every Saturday and Sunday morning early. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern. This is where the money is made. So you guys stay tuned. Keep it locked. 107.1 FM, 1400 AM, and, of course, on our websites at VegasScoreboardExpress.com and KSHP.com. So, again, short commercial break. When I get back, more with Scotty, Beam Him Up Webb, more Major League Baseball, and then the recap of the NHL and the NBA to give you those picks for tomorrow, Monday night. See if we can close out those series and put cash in your pocket. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, KSHP, VSX, straight money. You guys need to get it.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Shopping is always easy with the Radio Shopping Show. Whether it's shopping during any one of our live shows right here on AM 1400 or listening live on the KSHP app, you can always call in at 702-221-7283 to pick up great deals with your favorite host. Or shop 24/7 at KSHP.com. Go to KSHP.com and select Shopper's Guide to browse hundreds of businesses featured on the show. Place your order online and we'll have it shipped right to your front door. With so many possibilities, it's hard not to shop.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You heard it here first. Another exclusive track. Right now. The DJ keeping the party going. The DJ keeping the party going all night long. You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live, waking you up early in the morning every Saturday and Sunday. KSHP AM 1400, 107.1. Got my main man Scotty, Beam Him Up Webb, back on the line with me, talking some Major League Baseball plays. Turn it up loud. Grab your pen and pad, grab that bankroll. Let's get ready to beat the line. So, Scotty, thank you so much for being on the line with us today. You can follow Scotty over on his website. Check out his daily plays at MLB-daily.com, and also check him out on the social medias at Webby20MLB. So let's jump right back into it. Yesterday, the LA Dodgers went down to Tampa Bay and beat the Tampa Bay Rays 6-5, way over 500 at 38-16. Could be a little bit of a slip up for the Tampa Bay Rays. These guys are on the line today. Wait, do I see him on the line today? No, not on the line today. You know, I needed more coffee today this morning, Scotty. I got up like 30 minutes before I was supposed to get here. Late night drinking, you know, soothing my wounds from that Miami Heat loss. But talking about that happened yesterday. Tampa Bay, are you worried about your home team, man? I don't think there's too much issue with them. I think that was just a game that kind of slipped between their hands. I did take a money line yesterday, but they weren't able to get it done. But talk about the Dodgers from their perspective. People thought they were going to be a lot better. Now that these guys have kind of put themselves in a position where they have won a championship, they've given themselves that cachet, if you will. Just not seeing the money get made with these guys, man. It's feast or famine. 32-21, and they got a decent record, but the problem is consistency, getting run lines and getting totals in the runs. So yesterday they were able to go over the 8, but the last couple of times I picked these guys, they couldn't hit the baseball, and it was still a very, very close win. Talk about these two teams. I think they were evenly matched yesterday, with the Dodgers being a pretty good team right now. Again, 32-21. I made a mistake. I was looking at it a little bit wrong. I'm telling you, I need more coffee. But I correct myself in it. But again, the Dodgers are a team that have costed me money when I bet on them, and yesterday they did. I took the under in that run line there with the total being over 8, and then they didn't get the 1.5. So talk to me about what you're seeing about this team. Are they going to be more dominant as the season goes on, or are they just going to keep out eking wins, piecing wins together to try to get back in the playoff hunt? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers, I sort of felt like they were going to start off pretty good, but that's just because they haven't played a tough schedule yet. I mean, they're starting to get into the meat and potatoes of their schedule now. So we'll see how things play out for them. But my concern with the Dodgers is they don't have enough starting pitching, and the depth of the offense is based on 3 or 4 guys. So you have Betts, you have Betts, and you have Freddie Freeman, and you have Will Smith. And you got to get stuff out of these other guys. Now, Muncy's been pretty good in a sense of hitting home runs. He doesn't hit for average, but he's been hitting for home runs. And some of these younger players have to really produce, your Outmans of the world and the Vargases and those guys. So I'm concerned that when you start to match them up, Urias is already hurt. Justin May is gone. He's hurt. You're sitting here counting on Kershaw to be your best pitcher. And if you're counting on Kershaw to be your best pitcher, he's not going to match up to some of these teams, and especially these guys that are going to, in the playoffs, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for them on the pitching front. Their bullpen's halfway decent, so they're going to be able to stay in games that way, but they're going to need their offense to score a lot, and they're going to need to find a way to get some pitching. Now, I do like Miller, the kid they called up. He's pretty good. We'll see how he develops. The kid that's pitching for him today, Stone, I don't think is nearly the same capabilities, and he's been hit his first 2 games. He pitches against a team that the dynamic is different. It's with Tampa Bay. They've got guys that up and down the lineup carry them through every day. It's not just one guy or 2 guys or 3 guys. They can have 7 guys or 6 guys or 8 guys, whatever it is. The way they play, and we talked about it just a minute ago, how you build upon one at bat over and over and over. That's what the Rays do. They just build on at bat after at bat, and then they're built as a team that can play defense and pitch. So as this team is going along, I don't see any holes in their team. And to be honest, even if they go on losing streaks, which they will, every team does, I don't think it's going to be an extended one, just because of how they play and who they play and how many people they play. So today, the reason that you didn't see a line for them, you should be able to see one now, is that they didn't announce a starting pitcher. So their starting pitcher today is Fleming. Fleming's going to pitch for them today. I just kind of was running through some numbers on this game, and what I'm seeing is Tampa Bay's minus 135 or 140, somewhere in that neighborhood, and a total of 9. And I'm just going to tell you, Fleming's not a big strikeout guy. He walks more than he should. Stone's not a big strikeout guy. He walks more than he should. Both these teams can hit, so this looks like an over 9 kind of game.
I love it. Scotty, beam him up. Webb dropping grease on you again. Check him out on social media. Webby20 MLB. Check out his website, MLBdaily.com. Let's talk about the team that's supposed to be coming out here to Las Vegas, man. We're picking up all the scrap heap from the Bay Area. Let's hope the dope fiends don't get on the bus and roll out. Rotation number 916, Oakland Athletics back at home, plus 210 on the money line. Luis Medina on the mound, going up against one of the better teams in baseball, Houston Astros. Rotation number 915. Houston is 30-21, 16-10 on the road, and we know how bad Oakland is. Yes, worst team in baseball. 10-44, 5-22 at home, but they have won 10 games. Do you think this could possibly be one of those home dogs that's barking? They supposedly bought some land out here in Vegas again. I'll believe it when I see it. But please don't come out here with those losing ways, because I'm telling you, man, oh my gosh. It's like a triple-A team in Major League Baseball, and people talk about levels in baseball and why it takes so many levels. Well, this is why. If the best players available can only produce you 10 wins, man, it's going to be a long road. You know these guys are probably going to be picking top 5 in the upcoming MLB draft. But let's talk about it from the pitching perspective, because we've seen Luis Medina. He's come out, hasn't had very many great starts, but he hasn't been that hittable. It's just the rest of the team is terrible, and they can't really pull out wins. And then the probable side for Houston, Christian Javier, he's coming in. I think this is like one of his first or second starts. So it's kind of an even matchup. You got kind of an okay pitcher with another pitcher coming in for Houston with Javier, who hasn't had too many starts that have been quality. I think this is like a 4 or 5 inning type guy. So talk to me about what you think could happen with that run line, because, of course, you got Oakland at plus 210, live line 8.5 total runs for the game. Do you think there's any way that maybe they can be some big scoring today? Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about it from this level, right? So Oakland's won 10 out of their first 54 games. So there's 162 games in a season. They might, at this point, they might win between 30 and 35 games. If they only win 30 and 35 games in the whole season, JB, it's going to be a record in terms of how futile this team is.
Wow.
They are minus 190 runs on the run differential.
Wow.
And that's that at this point in the season, that's an amazing total number. There's no one like even the next worst team. The next worst team in that is the Kansas City Royals, who are minus 77. So minus 190 and minus 177 is a huge ordeal. So here's number one. If you want to play on the Oakland A's games, you're going to have to play the minus and play the run lines or whatever you want to do, and you're going to pay big money to play those games. But I would tell you not to fear them. It's just a matter of how you want to play them, Now, today, Javier's pitching for Houston. Now Javier, he is one of the best pitchers in baseball people don't know about. And I don't know if they don't know about him, but, Christian Javier he's a ace in waiting. He averages more than 10 strikeouts per 9 innings. He doesn't walk anybody. And over his seasons, he was a relief pitcher, say 2-3 years ago, and they've stretched him out. Now, you have Framber Valdez as their main guy, and now Christian Javier is their number 2 pitcher. So he's done great work to get to where he does. Those guys do not hit him very well. And I would tell you that this is going to be a spot where, it just depends on what the Astros want to do. It's almost like anytime you play the A's, it's do you want to start your starters, and do you want to really play them, and do you want to really try to drive in runs and stuff? Because the issue with Oakland is their starting pitching is so poor that they're always behind. When you get behind 5-6 runs, they just kind of give up, and that's kind of what you see with this Oakland team.
Scotty, beam him up, Webb. East Coast Sports Investors, MLBDaily.com, telling you stay off those Oakland, soon-to-be Las Vegas Athletics. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Those stats were terrible, man. Minus 100 and some odd runs early in the season. But again, thank you so much, Scotty, for stopping by the big board. Any shout-outs before we let you get out of here? Get on to your betting day and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Again, thank you so much for coming on. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, hey, I appreciate you letting me come on. And I took a week off there, so this is my first action back this week. So I'm kind of excited here for this Sunday.
That's what I'm talking about, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb. East Coast Sports Investors. Thank him so much for stopping by. Again, check him out on the Twitters, on the Instagrams. Yeah, I know I mentioned the bird. It's all right. at Webby20MLB and on his website, MLB-daily.com. So when I get back from this short commercial break, I got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, VSX Digital Sports contributor and co-host. Going to go over this NBA and NHL wipeout that we had yesterday. Thought the dogs were barking. They weren't. But we're going to predict the future for you for the Monday night game. So, again, you guys stay tuned. Keep it locked. KSHP, AM 1400, 107.1 FM. Vegas Scoreboard Express. I'm your host and boss of the big board every Saturday and Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to give you sports information you can count on and picks that pay. I win 70% of the time. It's not really something I like to promote. But when I do take losses, I'm honest with you guys. I'm not a capper. I'm a sports commentator who knows how to bet. So again, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big four, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with Fubo TV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
The Klondike Casino is a friendly local spot that features their signature restaurant, the Klondike Grill, serving up fresh food fast. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just off the 95 freeway on Sunset Road in Henderson. You will find the Klondike Casino featuring all your favorite games from the Strip in the comfort of a neighborhood casino. You can place a bet at their full-service sports book or start your day with a breakfast plate that comes with your choice of potato and toast. Or check us out for lunch or dinner and try one of our many sandwiches like the popular beer-battered fish sandwich or the Philly cheesesteak. Check out the full menu at KlondikeSunset.com.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big four.
This is it. The cocaine and the crack. They all sound the same to me. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, back at you live. Got my main man Ron, Third Down Best Bets, on the line with us. Going to be talking about his debacles that we went through yesterday in the NBA and the NHL. But again, we're honest, telling you where you can still come in, be entertained, and get sports betting information you can count on. Ron, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing much better, man. I'm just waking up. Energy level was a little bit wild, but again, you guys are rocking with us. 107.1 FM, AM 1400, KSHP, VSX Digital Sports Networks, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. So let's go ahead and jump into it yesterday, man. We took some big losses yesterday. Went 0-2. The Tickets were dead on arrival. Well, maybe not so much with the Miami Heat, but something happened at the end of that game which just blew my mind. And as I said before, it was like,
you failed, you big dummy.
We told you guys about the whole issue with fundamentals not getting taught to guys. They let the inbounds guy come in and hit a miracle putback, tip in, or whatever. Talking about the Miami Heat yesterday, losing at home. And I know, yes, I can't believe I'm saying this. Lost at home. 104 to 103. And Jimmy Butler was able to do something yesterday that we haven't seen many people do. He had ice in his veins, hit all 3 free throws. Okay? Set up the nice little bump in the corner. The replay showed that he was behind the 3-point line. But then something weird happened out of nowhere. It's like the basketball gods in Boston said, nope, we want these guys to come back. They put 0.9 seconds back on the clock, and I'm telling you, man, that was the difference maker, because if that would have been like the 0.2 that it should have been when that shot was fouled on with Jimmy Butler in the corner, we'd be talking about the Miami Heat going back for the finals again. But going back to Boston, Game 7, Jimmy Butler did all he could do. He started off slow in the beginning of the game, though. The guy didn't even have double figures, him nor Bam Adebayo, until the fourth quarter. But what a fourth quarter it was. These guys fought back hard. But when I saw the end of the game, there weren't very many adjustments made, and then just breaking down in 0.9 seconds. I mean, just a heartbreaking loss. Shout out to the Boston Celtics, though. I mean, these guys are fighting back. They come down from 0-3 and got it to a Game 7. And these guys are pretty good Game 7 winners. I think they've won 29 out of like the 52 games or something they played. But Miami, how does this happen? 3-0, 3-3, Game 7 tomorrow. Talk to me about it, Ron. Go ahead.
I think it was the injuries were a part of it with losing Vincent. I think the NBA is getting what they wanted. They wanted Game 7. The Lakers couldn't pull their part. The Lakers wanted, like we talked about, they wanted Boston and Lakers. You know, that was what the dream NBA matchup would have been. But yeah, that 0.9, I'm still kind of sketching my head on that one a little bit. That kind of seemed like it had a little footprint of the NBA on it, so somebody behind the scenes. But we can't prove that, so we can't say that. But Boston has been good in those Game 7s, like you said, except for this playoff season. So let's see at home. Let's see what they do. I'm still riding with Miami.
Yeah, I mean, Miami. I mean, I'm not going to give Spoelstra any grease because I didn't like his comments yesterday at the press conference. This guy's like, "Oh, we want to run it back right now. Let's get back on the court." I'm like, "Bro, you just got beat. Okay, you got beat. You didn't tell your boys to box out at the end of the game. You got the inbounder coming in. What's this last guy's name? White or whatever. You know what I mean?" Hasn't really been a big star for the team, but he was able to get, that lucky putback. But he said something that confused me, and I'm talking about Eric Spoelstra, the head coach that we gave so much grease for in this Miami series. He said, "I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how we're going to get back up there and win it, but I think we're going to be able to do it." I'm like, man, get this guy out of here, because this is just absolutely just a disaster. We've seen this so many times in the NBA over the last couple of seasons, and a lot of people say, okay, well, it's stretched. But if you look at it from the perspective of winning, Miami had this game, okay? End of the game, no time left on the clock. Jimmy Butler gets the 3 free throws to drop for him. How do they not maybe tell him to miss the last one? And because these guys ended up losing anyway. I mean, there was just no coaching from Spoelstra, and that's what shocked me. He kind of let it ride in Jimmy Butler's hands, and it didn't work this time. So do you think that going forward for tomorrow's game, again, tomorrow's game going to be brought to you by TNT, not on Fubo TV. We got to get a TNT deal with these guys or something. Guys are going to have to go over the basic cable, or you can head over to the book. But Miami Heat, rotation number 509, they got to go back to Boston. Look at this spread, man. +8. These guys have got back all the value. They got everything back that they had taken away from the Celtics. It's all back on the line now. +265 money line, total of 203.5. So we've seen the scoring go down from a totals perspective. Boston Celtics rotation number 510. Again, this is the game for tomorrow, May 29th, the day that you got off that Monday night game. -8, -325. You guys know I don't like those expensive money lines. And from a sports betting perspective, I don't want to get caught up with favorites. I do want the Miami Heat to win. I think it would be great for them to get back to the NBA Finals. Haven't been a big Boston Celtics fan my entire life. I mean, that's just me. New York Knicks. Not going to go into that. But the Miami Heat have gotten all that value back. Okay, so what that tells me is the line makers feel that now the Celtics, who on paper have the better roster, are playing like it. I mean, we even saw Al Horford block Bam Adebayo yesterday at the rim when Bam Adebayo tried to go up for a putback dunk. Really, really wild stuff that's going on. So like I said before, man, this is one of those situations where I would tell most people to bet the house. But I've somewhat lost faith in what Miami can do. I know Boston is always shaky at home, but I mean, the Garden is going to be a terrible place to play for the away team tomorrow night. What's the factor? I know you're riding with the Miami Heat. What's the factor you think can get them over the top? Because I think we're going to end up seeing Celtics Nuggets, but go ahead.
Well, I know Spoelstra wasn't really on his A game yesterday, but I think he's still going to be the factor. I really do when it comes down to it. I mean, he just let it ride, and that's something coaches do sometimes. Sometimes they will just let things ride, and it doesn't work sometimes. But I still think he's a far better head coach. I think he's got a lot more on his plate, and I just still really feel Miami's going to come back and win this game. I just really do.
Yeah, I mean, they got to really, Jimmy Butler has said, he's got to play better. But let's not forget, Jimmy Butler sprained his ankle in that first game of the series. And it didn't look like it was affecting him. He's tweaked it a little bit back when they were playing Philadelphia. It didn't look like it was affecting him. But now it's clear that it is because he had such a slow start yesterday, man. I was like, look, this guy's hurt. He hurt. That man had 9 points in the first half, and he didn't get to double figures until the fourth quarter. So talking about coaching, Joe Mazzulla on the other side for Boston. Got to give him some credit, man. That guy's coaching for his job, essentially doing a lot better job than Doc Rivers. Do you think Joe Mazzulla is going to be coming back as the head coach for the Boston Celtics just for the fact that he's the head coach on this 3-game comeback? Even if they don't win the series and they fall short, which I hope they do, Miami Heat fan here. But again, being a sports bettor, want to get the best value. I don't see a lot of value with the Boston Celtics with that high money line, high spread. But Joe Mazzulla has done a good job coaching these guys. I don't know what he said to them in the locker room and said, look, guys, get it together. Become friends on social media. Do whatever you got to do. Plan some barbecues postseason. But we have to come together as a team. And that's what I've seen the Boston Celtics do. Now, Miami, again, they are a team that is thick as thieves. These guys are one for all for one. It's just scoring. They get into some scoring droughts. And I'm seeing that over the last 2 games where Miami will have a lead or just a short deficit, and then things just go bad, man. It's like, yo, you guys can't get a bucket. Who's going to be the guy that the Miami Heat can count on to get a bucket? Because I gave Bam Adebayo a lot of grease yesterday, and he just botched so many layups in the paint. It was like, dude, getting his dunks blocked. Other than Jimmy Butler, that Miami Heat team, who do you think, or you can tell the sports fans, the sports bettors out there, they can count on to try to put cash in their pocket? Again, you're talking about the Miami Heat tomorrow night, rotation number 509, going back to Boston at a plus 8-point spread, plus 265 on the money line. Boston Celtics, rotation number 510, minus 8, minus 325. Very expensive. Total 203.5. I'm liking the total, but talk to me about who's going to be able to score for Miami, because it was a very low-scoring game yesterday, and it wasn't necessarily because of defense, because Jason Tatum came out and dropped 25 first-half points. So it wasn't necessarily for defense. It was just missed shots. These guys were 9 of 15, 9 of 12, 9 of 13, and then no defense. Talk to me.
Well, I think Adebayo has to come out and really dominate Horford again. I mean, the first 2 games, he was really dominating him. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You can see it. Now it's he kind of backed off and turned the tables. He needs to get back in charge and get on Horford again. That's the Celtics' Achilles heel, in my opinion, is Al Horford. He's still a good player. He's been around a long time. If you can take advantage of that, there's a gap there. There's a hole there to take advantage of.
Now let's talk about this guy, Robert Williams III. He's kind of been an athletic match for Bam Adebayo. Do you think he's going to be another X factor? Because if you get rid of Horford in that outside shooting, we haven't seen Bam Adebayo out-rebound Robert Williams III as much as we would think. So who else is going to be able to step up for Miami? I think this dog is barking, but, I mean, it's a long hold for these guys at plus 8 and losing 3 straight games. I mean, it's hard to bet on them. Plus 265 is valuable, but on the road in Boston, they're making it a real expensive cup of coffee to take the Boston Celtics. I'm doing the total. I think the total is going to go over 203.5. All they got to do is get one more layup at the end of the game. And what I saw yesterday, I think it can happen. But talk to me about the sides. I know you're probably on the Miami Heat money line, or at least to cover the spread. And in Game 7, I'd never like to take a spread bet. I want to see who can win and put the cash all the way in your pocket. But I also like that total, because if my team doesn't win, I still like to get paid. JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Got my main man Ron, Third Down Best Bets, on the line with me. Talking this NBA. Ron, give your pick and a shout-out. Then we come back, Going to close out the show talking about that VGK because these guys were another team that took a L yesterday. Costed us money. But you said the dogs bark in hockey, and yesterday were they barking with those Dallas Stars. But go ahead and give your shout out and your pick for this NBA so I can take this short commercial break, get back, and get us over to the book.
I'm going with the Miami Heat. Believe it or not, the Miami Heat will be warm. My shout out is for my sister, Joni Carey, my loving sister. She's been going through some stuff. Love you so much, Joni. Just get through this. We all love you. The family needs you. We love you so much.
There you go. Ron, third down, best doing it for the family, and I'm doing it for all you families out there in Las Vegas and around the world. All my soldiers, all my vets around the world, give you guys an early morning shout out. I know you guys wake up early in the morning, get that PT going. JB the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express salutes you for all that you guys have done and sacrificed. And, of course, you know myself and my family. We're all over the U.S. military. That's what we do. We like riding around getting that money, helping America be America, and also helping you sports bettors get paid. Ron, third down, best bets, telling you take rotation number 509, the Miami Heat. Take a money line. This time they got to win by one and not lose by anything. They can get you paid. I'm telling you, I'm going with the total over 203.5. It's a game 7. These guys are going to be shooting lights out. When I come back from this short commercial break, me and Ron are going to finish out the show for you, talk about some VGK, and see if we can get some grease with these guys. VGK, you're right at the door. Knock it down. Get to those NHL finals. When I come back, I'm going to tell you, we're going to bet on them and see how we can help you get it done. JB the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that grease.
Vegas Scoreboard Express, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 6 on AM 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas. Online at KSHP.com.
This football season, stay in the game with Fubo TV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get Fubo TV.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
JB the Ticket back at you live, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Got my main man, Ron, third down, best bets, back on the line with me. Going to be talking some more of this NHL. Yesterday, the Vegas Golden Knights weren't able to pull out that win for you, man. That was a sad situation, bro. Broke my heart. I mean, these guys, T-Mobile was like kind of quiet, though, and that's kind of not what I expected. They were more on the edge of their seats, kind of in anticipation of a celebration, and unfortunately, that did not happen. Knights got mollywopped yesterday. The puck line hit 5.5. Dallas Stars beating us here in Las Vegas 4-2. It was a bloodbath. I watched that game, man. We didn't have any energy. We had nothing. And then this Dellandrea kid, give him a shout-out for Dallas. Dellandrea. This guy had 2 goals in less than 5 minutes. That's what let me know there's no shot for us to get this game at home. Now we got to go back down to Texas. Talk to me about it, Ron. You were the one who let everybody know that hockey was a different animal and it would be tough for the Vegas Golden Knights to win it. You thought they would, but you thought that Dallas would put up a fight, and boy, did they. Now you've got Vegas rotation number 29 coming in Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, going back to the Big D down in Dallas to play the Stars. Dallas minus 130 on the money line. Vegas plus 110. Line total on the puck again, 5.5. So the hook was able to get you paid. They even cleared it, okay, at 6 goals scored. This is a conference finals game. We already saw it happen with the Miami Heat. What does Vegas have to do to just get out there and get it done? Go ahead.
Well, you don't need to change anything. There's a reason they're there. I mean, they're an excellent hockey team. You're seeing a team, the Dallas Stars, that does not want to go home. In hockey, it's different. These teams will do anything. There's the desperation, the aggression, the physicality. I mean, it's incredible. They will go anything to keep going, and that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a team that does not want to go home. They're stubborn, and they're a good hockey team. But Vegas will prevail.
Now let's talk about it from the goalie standpoint, because I know we've been giving Odinger a hard time, but let's talk a little bit about the Vegas Golden Knights, because they haven't had a bad goalie, but the situation has been a little bit tough. I mean, to get 4 goals scored on them yesterday, it's just like, look, are we going to see more of the Vegas Golden Knights wall defense out in Dallas, or do you think they're going to try to push this to a Game 7? Go ahead.
Well, they're going to try to push. They're going to try to shut them down, but I mean, nobody wants to go to a Game 7 if possible. That's a lot of pressure. So nobody really wants to go to Game 7 unless you're down 3-0 and get to it. But I think Vegas could easily end this in Dallas. I mean, Dallas they're going to be on that pretty soon here. They put a lot of effort in these games to stay alive. But you're going to see it in their legs, I think, in Game 6 in Dallas. I think Dallas could be a little bit slower. And I think Vegas kind of relaxed a second. They kind of conserved a little energy there at the end of the game, and it cost them. Dallas jumped on it and took advantage of it.
Yeah,
I think Vegas is going to prevail in Game 6. I do.
Now, do you think they're going to go back with Aiden Hill in front of the net? Because, again, yesterday, 4 goals scored on him. Do you think he's going to try to get a revenge game, or they're going to try to switch it out? Go ahead.
I think you keep going with him. The hockey, a lot of times in the playoff series, you go with him. You keep going with him.
You guys know what time it is. Let's talk about it. See you guys next week. Thank you so much, Ron, for stopping by. We're going to be wrapping up the show right now. VGK, the Vegas Golden Knights, trying to get it done. Monday night is a big night. You got the Miami Heat, rotation number 509, +8, +265. Total over 203.5. I'm liking that total in the over. Ron's telling you take Miami money line, and then in the NHL, rotation number 29, Vegas Golden Knights, +1.5 on the puck line, +110 on the money line. The total is 5.5 on that pucks. Dallas Stars at home, 30 was the rotation number, -1.5, -130. So again, Ron, thank you so much for stopping by. Any final shout-outs before we get out of here, man? And then again, you guys can follow him over on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got to mention American Cancer Society. Need everybody to help any way you can. Money, time, blood, plasma, anything you can do to help out. Let's all get together and beat this cancer once and for all.
That's right. Shout out to the American Cancer Society. Also want to give you guys a shout out again. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. We'll be back next week with updates for the NBA Finals and NHL Finals. More baseball. Shout out to my main man, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb, East Coast Sports Investors, MLB Daily. And shout out to all you listeners here in Las Vegas. Follow the show on Instagram at JB The Ticket. Follow me on the Bird at We Beat the Line. And go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. 107.1 KSHP AM 1400. JB The Ticket is telling you, go out there and get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board, JB The Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express.